Hello everyone, hope you're doing good and welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be talking about one of the Azure certifications. It is called DP203 certification. This is one of the highest paid certification as of today in the data engineering domain, and this is obviously also the highest rated data engineering certificate exam, right? So what is this we'll see in this video. So in this particular video we'll be covering these details. I hope after watching this video you will have every clarity needed to decide if you need to prepare for this exam, and if you need to prepare, what are the various materials needed and how to prepare for it. So in this particular video, we'll be covering what is DP203 exam, the various exam details of it, and the scheduling, how to schedule it, and the price details of it, skills measure for this exam, what is the exam format, and prices as per the Indian market after including the taxes, what was the exact price of it, and how to prepare for it. So let me take you to the directly to the website of it. So this is the website for the exam 203, that is the data engineering on Microsoft Azure. First of all, let us discuss who are the audience for this exam, who should take this exam. Okay, so as I mentioned, this is the exam on data engineering. So that means if you are a data analyst, or if you are someone who is working in data analysis, or data engineering, or if you are working as a data scientist, then you are the one who should be this thinking about taking the certifications, right? So this basically is the exam to certify your skills as a data analyst, data scientist, and as a data engineer. So let us see what they have mentioned it here. As a candidate of this exam, you should have subject matter expertise in integrating, transforming, and consolidating data from various structured, unstructured, and streaming data systems into a suitable schema for building analytical solutions. Okay. Let us read one more paragraph. I think you will have definitely have clarity after this. As a Azure data engineer, you help stakeholders understand the data through exploration and build and maintain secure and compliant data processing pipelines by using different tools and techniques, right? You use various Azure data services and frameworks to store and process cleansed and enhanced data sets for analysis. Okay. This data can be designed with different architecture patterns based on business requirements. So these are some of the they're mentioning as the business requirements, and we will also be studying about this in this exam. So if you are someone who has not taken a cloud exam previously, let me tell you that this particular exam revolves around the data engineering domain. Okay. So if you are someone who has spent some years in your data engineering field, or if you want a growth, or if you want a change in this field, if you want to increase your salary in this field by getting certification, this is the exam for you. Okay. Records have shown that this is one of the highest paid certifications, and that is, if you certify this, it's very likely that you will get a big raise or a big promotion in your organization, or even if you are changing or planning to switch, this is the one for you, right? Let me tell you this from my experience. If you are someone who is doing a mtech, or studying, then definitely, if you have this kind of certifications, the base pay you will get after completing your studies will be a really high one, because you are already certified. Some of the This is one of the leading certifications, and if you already certified this before landing in your first job after your studies, then definitely you'll have to get a very high pay, right? So if you talk about this certification, these are the few languages we'll be using. These are the three languages. When we talk of Python, it's basically PySpark. Remember, we will be also studying about Spark here, and not just it's not direct Python. Basically, we'll be studying about PySpark. That is Spark through Python, right? And Scala and SQL. SQL, as you might be already knowing, right? This is a structured query language. These are the six prominent components which we'll be using to make data engineering solutions. And remember, as I will mention you will get a scenario based question, and one or more of this will be used in the scenario based questions. And clearing this certification basically assures or requires that you are thorough with these six components of Azure Data Factory. Though, see, for example, let me say this is the Databricks. If you see, this is the implementation of Databricks in Azure, right? There is a real Databricks also. You can go Google it, and you will get to know it. So this is implementation of that. So if you clear this certification, this does not simply mean that you are only using Azure technologies, but this also means that you also understand what are the concepts of various delta concepts or lakehouse concepts and all those concepts, and how you're applying it. Okay, this is just how Azure applies them, but the theory remains the same. Okay, so this is all about it. And yeah, these are some of the details given here. You can go through that, and there is a study guide as well. And there are also some prep videos for it. So basically there are two ways to prepare for this exam. So why a self-paced method and why instructor-led method? Okay, this is the self-paced method, and even I have taken the self-paced method, and I will show you my certificate at the end of this video. It has basically 9 modules, and after completing, you will get this completed tag here, and each of these modules, has some exam questions behind that. These are just to test your knowledge, But if you have to clear this certification, apart from going to this theory content, you will also have to go through some of the previous year exam questions, or some of the questions which are very very common in exam, right? As simple as that. You can also go for the institute exam, but let me open one of this and show you. Okay, so these are just text basically, and these also have link for labs. By the way, let me tell you this: in this exam, will not have lab, but definitely the implementation details will be asked in a theoretical way. Okay, so if I click here, basically, see, you will have theory text like this. Okay, you will have a lot of theory to go through, and by the end of that, you will be having some questions as well to test. Okay, that's all about it. I just wanted to open and show you how it looks. So now coming to what are the skills that will be measured and what are the pricing details of it. Okay. So these are the details. For example, design and implement data storage. 15 to 20% of the questions will come from it. Develop a data processing. 40 to 45% of the questions will come from this. Secure, monitor, optimize data storage and data processing. 30 to 35% of the questions will come through this. Okay. I will expand each one of this and show you what are the topics coming under this. They are just in a broad view, they have mentioned it, but I will also expand and show you, right? Before that, let me quickly show the price, because this is something which many look after. So for India, this is 4,800. Remember, this does not include the tax as of now. And if you ask me, because I've already cleared the certification, I will tell you that the amount will be around 5,200 after including taxes and everything. And remember, this is the amount. After paying this amount, you will have two options: either to write in online or in a center-based method. Okay, that is, you will go to the nearest test center, and this is the application called on view application. You have to go through the test centers allotted by them near your home, whichever is near your home, and you have to sit in that and write the exam. So these are the two options that you have. Okay, and yeah, coming to the exact details of it, and let me quickly open this and show you. These links I will be giving you in the description. Basically, you can come and note. So if you, yeah, these are the ones actually. So for design and implementation of data storage, which I've already shown you, like here we have seen that, right? Design and implementation of data storage, what are topics coming under that? They have mentioned it very clearly. You can go through that. Okay, each topic here they have mentioned, and remember, after going through the theory which I have mentioned here, yeah, after going through this theory, you can just look into it that whether you have covered all the theory or not. Remember, theory is very, very important, because see, this is not about just clearing the exam. After clearing this exam, you will have many interview opportunities. In that, definitely some of these concepts will be tested. So definitely not just about clearing the exam. You should also be very, very good. Have a good grasp on the theory. That's what I want to emphasize on. And by the way, this exam is not something which you will, simply clear it just by reading the theory. It requires a lot of in-depth knowledge also. Let me make this very clear at the starting itself. So you can go through this. I will give you the link of it. Okay. So I think I have covered everything in this particular website, and how to schedule the exam. Will make a separate video on these topics. It will be slightly long, so I will make a separate video on this topic. And if you are someone who has already cleared the certification and you are applying for a recertification, then definitely you can continue there. I will be also giving the materials which is needed to clear those things. Okay, what are the instructions, and what are the various materials we have to go through, that also will be discussing in this particular channel. Okay, so yeah, let us go back to our content. So I think some of the details I've already covered now, and if there's anything remaining, yeah, we have starts to come. We'll discuss on those things after that also, right? So now coming to what this question is, what this exam is all about. So basically, we'll have 40 to 50 questions in 2023. Like, I have also written the exam in 2023 December, and I will show my certificate also, by the way. And I've talked with many people who have written this exam. So mostly in 2023, we had around 40 to 45 questions in total coming for this particular exam. Okay, so there are two parts basically. The part one deals with 30 to 30, 45 questions, and in part two, we will have only scenario based question. In scenario based question, we can have 3 to 5 questions. Okay, so remember, these are two different sections, and they are not the same, right? They are definitely not the same. When I say they are different sections, what it means, see, while when you end a section, you will have a review section, review part of it. Okay, you can review the answers. Once you are done, once you click next, you will never be able to go back to that section. Okay, so when I say in part two, we will have 3 to 5 questions. That means once you finish part one, then you will enter the part two. That means you cannot go back to part one. Okay, this is the important part. Many do not know this. Please pay attention here, because I've seen many people who say that they were not aware of there is a part two, right? Definitely there will be a part two. It will be based on a scenario question. Okay, and there will be 3 to 5 questions in that. You can go to that part only after completing your part one. That is, once you go to part two, you cannot come back to part one. As simple as that. And if you talk about the times for this exam, it is basically a 100-minute exam. Okay, so basically we will have only 100 minutes to solve both the part one and part two. Okay, in total, I'm saying. And but you will, and many will tell you that it's a 120-hour exam. Why they say that? It is because 20 minutes are separately kept for survey. Okay, what is a survey? See, before starting the exam, you will have a survey. After you end the exam, you will have definitely surveys, and you will also have an option to comment. Give your comment on each question. Okay, you can also give your comment after the exam. Okay, once you have submitted your answers, you will have an option to comment your. Give comments for each of the questions mentioned, that okay, that you can mention if it is out of the syllabus, or whether this was hard, easy, you can give a comment on that, right? So that is why the 20 minutes are allocated for that. Okay. So now coming to the scenario based question, yeah, this exam will include a one scenario based question. Now, if you're writing this for the first time, let me tell you that in the fundamentals exam like AZ 900, DP 900, you do not have scenario based question. But in the associate level exams, you will have scenario based question. This is something new introduced by Microsoft. So what happens in scenario based question is that you will be given a scenario. Okay, it will have big lengthy scenario. It will be given, and the six components which I have mentioned previously, like six components for DP 203, among those components there will be a scenario. Okay, uh, how you are implementing a particular solution, how you are solving a problem, there will be a big scenario in that. After reading the whole scenario, you will have 4 to 5 questions which are totally based on that scenario. Okay, they are not from answer of that, exactly based on the scenario. Okay, you will have to answer that questions, and there is no separate time limit for it. This is a like within the 100 minutes only you have to complete both part 1 and part 2, as simple as that. And the scenario based question comes in part 2, right? Now coming to what is the passing mark for this particular exam. So basically it will, you have to you have to score 700 out of 1000. Okay, and remember, it's not like one question is 3 marks or one question is 5 marks, something like that. It's not like that. As you will see now, when I discuss the exam patterns, this is not the same. Okay, each question may have different marks, and you will never get to know how much marks each question is allotted. Okay, it's not mentioned anywhere, and these are kept hidden. Okay, as simple as that. But at the same time, I want to say that these details are whatever I mentioned in this particular slide are some of the details which are subject to change. Microsoft keeps changing them. Okay, for example, the number of questions, the hour of the total duration of the exam, this keeps changing. But one thing I can assure you is that what I've heard from others and what I've also seen is that there is no lab as such in this exam. Okay, you will not have a separate lab for this particular exam. Okay, that is, you will have only, as we'll discuss the exam pattern, but you will not have lab based exam. That is, you will never get a question which asks you to implement something in a lab. Okay, that will not be there. Many are afraid because of that, but let me tell you, in this particular exam you do not have that. Okay, now coming to the next slide. So yeah, it talks about the pattern of questions. Okay, so most of the questions will be MCQ single choice questions, but remember, there can be two or three correct choices as well in the same MCQ type of questions. Okay, so basically they will clearly mention select two correct choices, select three correct choices, like that. And in that case we will have to select two or three correct choices. If you do not select, that question will not be counted as a something which you have answered. Okay, in the review screen it will not show that you have answered that question. You will have to select two if they have mentioned two, or you will have to select three if they have mentioned three. Okay, this is in addition to single choice questions. Okay, then you will have a drag and drop kind of questions. These questions basically ask you to arrange the answers in a right sequence, something like that. Okay, then you will have yes and no questions. Remember, this is again something which you need to pay attention. Please pay attention here. Many people do a mistake here. Yes and no questions, there is no review for them. Okay, that is, see, if once you complete the main section, you will have a review, right? You can review each of your answers and change it when needed. But remember, in a yes and no question, there is no review. Okay, there is no review. There will be 3 to 4 questions in this particular section. What will happen is that once you select the answer, you cannot come back to it. Okay, these 3 4 questions will not appear in the final review screen also. Okay, so that is, suppose there are 4 questions, I have answered first and second question, and then I cannot go back. Okay, I cannot go back and answer them again. Okay, particularly these 3 or 4 questions which are yes no. Okay, I'm talking about them. There is no review option for them. These questions cannot be skipped. You will have, once you have come this, once this question is opened, you will have to answer it. Okay, you cannot go to any other question after seeing this particular question. As simple as that. Okay, so that's why I've separately mentioned that this cannot skip this question. And that it will be part of the main section only. This will not be a part of the the second part, that is the part 2 of the exam. It will be part of the part 1 only. But these will be questions which cannot be skipped. Okay, now coming to the separate section, the for the scenario based question. As I mentioned, the part 2 will be totally for the scenario based questions, and this section is separate from the main section. After completing the main section only, you can land in this section. Okay, and remember, there is no separate time limit for it. Within those 100 minutes only, you have to complete both these sections. Okay, that is the main section and the second section. Second section is for the scenario based question. The main section is for this 1 to 4 whatever I have mentioned, okay, in this particular slide, are part of the main section. Okay, I hope you are clear now. And yeah, coming to the how to prepare for this exam. So definitely, as I mentioned, the Microsoft Learn website, which I've just now showed you, I will give you the link in the description. You can go through it and start learning it. Okay. And also in this particular channel we will be releasing a lot of practice questions, and these are some of the real exam questions discussed, that came previous attempts. We have collected these questions and we will be discussing the solution of it. Okay. Remember, when I was preparing, what I found is that these questions may be available, but most places give wrong answers for them. Their reasoning is wrong. Okay. So you will have to be very careful whenever you get a question, what should be the correct answer for it. Okay. If you dig a lot now, believe me, these things will help you a lot during the real exam. Okay. Because see, let me tell you this: if you have already cleared a fundamental exam like AZ 900, DP 900, the difficulty level which you will see in this kind of exams is really really difficult. Okay. They are not same as that of the fundamental exams. So you will have to be very very uh, definitely you have to go through in the theory part. You have to work on that definitely. This will help you in the interview, but for clearing this exam you need a lot of grip in the previous year questions as well. Okay. You will have to practice a lot of previous year questions as well, and I will be bringing it in our channel so that you can go through them, and you can get something from the discussions there, and you can definitely comment out if you have doubts, and that will be definitely one of the big source in which you can that will help you to clear the exam. Okay. Cost of the exam I've already mentioned. If you go to the website, and in the Microsoft Learn website, they mention it 4,800 without tax, and after paying tax, this will be around 5,200. Okay. But remember, all these are subject to change. Okay. Now coming to how to write the exam. Okay. There are two chances here, as I've already mentioned. In the on you will create a separate video basically on how to register for the exam. We'll definitely bring that also. If you're interested in bringing it now, you can definitely comment in this video. I will try to bring it as soon as possible. But remember, there are two cases here. Either you can appear for the online exam, which most of the people do, even including even I have done the same thing. Okay. Online ones are very very suitable ones if you have the required setup. Okay. The second one is the test center based exam. Okay. So in the OnView website, I will show you how to check that. You can go and check what are the various center options available. If you have a center near your home, definitely you can opt for the test center based exam. And remember, the online exam and the test center based exam both have the same price. Okay. They don't have say different prices. The price remains the same. It's up to you to take. Okay. And after mentioning all this, let me mention this also. There is a disclaimer and then that by no means content of this channel is a replacement of wonderful course material given by Microsoft and the actual practice which comes. Okay. So remember, if you go through the Microsoft material, you will see that there are some labs in that. Okay. Some free labs and some of them are paid as well. So definitely this content cannot be as a replacement of that. The actual practice and the beautiful content given by Microsoft is definitely awesome. You should definitely try that out. Remember, these kind of certifications you cannot simply clear just by reading the the theory part or the questions. You will have to dig in something. You will definitely need some practice, some at least some ideas. Okay. I'm not saying practice as such by paying buying some you know the actual tiers of the cloud. I'm just saying that you at least need some idea. Okay. Till you get that idea, you have to work. Okay. So what my suggestion to you will be, learn from Microsoft website side by side. At the same time, in my channel I will be uploading videos. There are many other videos available also, but remember, be careful in seeing the answer. Okay. They have in many places they will give you the questions, but they may not be real exam questions, or if they are real exam questions, they may not be correct, and the answer may not be correct. Okay. So we will try our best to keep as much good quality as possible in bringing the real exam questions and discussing the answers. Okay. We'll also try to give you the best support in terms of discussions needed, so that there is no doubt for you in that. Okay. So yeah, friend, that was all. And if you go to the next slide, yeah, this is my certification basically. I have highlighted out the credential ID, the certification number, and the name. So as you can see, this certification was on December 10, and this certification basically is for 1 year. This will expire after 1 year. And let me tell you one thing here. The best thing about Microsoft certification is that, see, after you write any other certification, what happens is that it will expire, and after that you have to rewrite it. But the beauty about the Azure certification is that after it expires, before 6 months itself, you will get an email in which you will have a link. So this is completely free. Okay. You can try that after you have cleared exam. After 6 months of it, you will get email in which they will give you a link. It will be a link for to recertify. Okay. It will be a free link. Okay. You don't need to pay anything after that. Okay. It will be a free link. You can write the recertification exam as many times as you want. Okay. This is just like opening a website and taking out some answers and checking the final answer. So you will have unlimited attempts for 6 months. And if you remember, it is totally free. After you clear it, you will, the certification expiry date will automatically increase by 1 year, as simple as that. But for other certifications, you will have to pay again to get certified. But for Azure, the beauty is that you don't have to pay again. It is completely free to recertify it. Okay, as simple as that. So yeah, fine. That was it. I have just pasted here to motivate you to appear for this exam. And as I've already mentioned, who are the participants? Who this exam is actually targeting the audience of the data analyst, the data scientist, and the data engineer. If you're aspiring to be one of them, or if you're already one of them, but want to certify your skills, okay, then definitely this is the one for you. Okay. And if you are someone who is doing MTech, then definitely you should check out this, because if you have this kind of industry ready certifications, then definitely it increases your value, and the first pay that you will get will be definitely much higher compared to other peers who are not basically certified. They may have the knowledge, but they are not certified. So yeah, fine, that was all about it. I will give you the links, the Microsoft Learn website links and everything here. And see, if you have any doubts, please do comment below. We can discuss them further. I have recently cleared the certification, so I also want to give as much knowledge as possible, so that you don't have any doubts. And at the same time, I also prepare with you, so that when I appear for the certification, after 1 year, I am also confident, and it will be helpful for me also. So it will be helpful for both of us, right? That's what I want to ensure. So yeah, fine, that was all for today. See you with the coming. A lot of questions will be trying to bring, and see you that time. Thanks a lot.